Hi, I'm Lori Byra. I didn't have anything prepared except I'd written a poem for George Reacher. But I met George and Valerie when I was 20, and it had something to do with food. And I remember the fact that I wiped my tongue on the napkin. Isn't that what you do when you eat something you don't like? And George never forgot it and was always teasing me about it. Then I remember when I was 33, saying to George, I'm getting so old. Now, George and my dad were the same age, basically. And he said, honey, this is a really good year for you. It's the Jesus year. And I said, it wasn't so good for Jesus, was it, George? All through this time, when Valerie was working after George stopped, I think George stopped and Valerie worked. We would go to this Chinese restaurant for lunch, and he kept saying to me, I think we're having this wild, passionate affair. I'm so happy about that. And I would go back and I'd say, Valerie, are you upset? And she said, I'm going to do a novena. I'm a Lutheran, so I don't know what that meant. But I think it meant she was okay with it. And then if he had a dirty joke, she'd say, you've been with Lori today, haven't you? When I was in my 40s, I got MS. Or I was diagnosed with MS. And he basically said, you know what, honey, because I always said I belong to the Disease of the Month Club because I have ulcerative colitis, and he'd always call me up and say, how's your ass? Anybody else, I would take that as an offense, but with George, it made me laugh. Before that, however, he ended up with prostate cancer, and he was in the hospital. And there's a famous poem, Margaret, Are You Grieving? And it's really about Margaret grieving for herself, right? So I don't know how old I was then, Valerie would know. But I think I was probably in my 40s, it was before I was diagnosed. And I got in bed, and I came into the hospital room, and I said, George, you're dying. And this was like 30 years ago. Or 20 years ago. And he said, honey, I'm not dying. Get in bed with me. And I'm like, okay. Valerie, I think I left the room. She came in, and I was snuggled in with George, crying. George, you're so unwell. And he's like, no, I'm not, honey. But even then, I was grieving for him because I knew that eventually we'd have to say goodbye because he was a lot older. And he was my dad's age, and I knew I'd have to say goodbye to my dad, which was awful. And then say goodbye to George. The other thing is that I had to get my community college degree, and the last part of it was algebra. And George was an expert. He would sit and do algebra puzzles, you know? What kind of a fool would do algebra? So he said, I'm the teacher for you. So he'd call me down, and we'd have like a tutoring session for about 2 hours. And he'd go, don't you get it? And I'd be like, George, if the train is coming from St. Louis and the other train's coming from New Orleans, I'm going to jump on the tracks to avoid answering the question. I don't know what I'm doing. And he's like, but you're so good with words. Think of it like A is on the other side of the river and B is on this side. I can't do it, George. So when I went to take the test, I had a white gown on, almost like a wedding gown. And the guy that gave me the test was a statistician. Long story short, I said to him, either you're going to bury me or marry me. I'm not leaving this room until I pass this algebra test. And so I failed it like 5 times. And I'd call him over and I'd say, this is either A, B, C, or D. I think it's C or B. What do you think? And he's like, B. And I got a 70 on the test. I barely passed it, but George helped me do it. Anyway, sorry, I'm not trying to be comical. Someone has told me that's my calling. I should be, All right, so about a month before George died, people think I'm a psycho, but I'm really a psychic. And all these birds kept appearing to me, blackbirds, over and over. And the first time it happened, I'm walking home and I walk into the house, and all these grackles, I'd say there were 200, descended on me. And I thought it was a sign from God. And then I called up Valerie, and she said, no, he's right here, everything's fine, because I thought it was George, because I knew he was sick. A few days later, I'm walking down the road, and 3 blackbirds appeared right in front of me. And I said, what are your messages? And they were looking at me. So every time a blackbird would appear, somebody would die. This happened 6 times out of 7, not making it up. But with George, it was a delayed reaction, and I sent him the poem, and Valerie, of course, said that he just nodded his head. Oh, that Lori. And so the book was published after he died. But he was alive when I wrote it. George and Grackles, and it's about that Margaret, Are You Grieving poem for George LeBlanc. No one ever told me that grief felt so much like fear. C.S. Lewis. I am waiting for news of George's death. A dragon will get to him eventually. As I walk in silence, I know that all men at some point in their lives are faced with an unimaginable sorrow. I do believe sorrows are winged. I do believe they are dark angels, like the blackbirds that descend on my path off these wintry trees. George has lived a long time. Our trees are filled with grackles, so many seeking to attach themselves to us. Our trees will not shield us from these sorrows. They are Emily Dickinson dashes. They stubbornly dance in the snow. They are dressed for winter, old men in sensible black shoes. They are marching. I am frightened for George. These feathered troubadours are writing litanies in the ice-filled forest, leaving behind their spidery farewell letters. There are too many of them to shoo away. I leave a few behind to sip our tears. Thank you.